Hey, you tourists, it's your boy Dominate. Hey, you tourists, it's your boy Domination. This is back in the basic chunk of the deuce. This is how we do text, baby. Man, I know it's back. You know what it is. Real men rise up, fake men rise down. Real women rise up, fake women rise down. Prep the word preacher, preach on. And today's topic I'm going to talk about is I want to talk about the word Negro. Yo, Lex Will, you did a good job with the term Caucasian, but this is a term that needs to talk about when they hear the word Negro. And I'm gonna give my thoughts on this, my own thoughts on this. The Negroid is also known as conroid 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 chondroid is it's a term that is used by the formant and the physical as like a logative to refer to the individual and the populate that is shared and the common and modular logative and the skeleton trait that is art and requested around population in sub-Saharan Africa. The term is common associated with enough notion of the racial terminology, which is or be put by the differences rotation. The first introduced in the early the first introduced in the early racial science and rotology is the tech that has have been traditionally been used is to note in one of the three pre-posts of modern races of humans. Negroid as a biological is classification remains in use, partly within the field of the formant of cohabitation. Rotation. You see this? You see how black people come from different shades? You see this? You see this right here? Right here? Right here? And right here? Right here? And right here? But you see this, right? You see all of this. You got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got to be 8 tribes of order to be an African. And Soko and Nadwo and Ken Medical and Hanlo at Anonymity Negro Critos and Mande Papa Do and Melon Age and Hyman and Weston and Subdan Negro and Zulu Batu Negroid. You see this right here, man. You got to have the 8 different certain shades in order to be black. Okay, in the logography, the Negro has both Latin and ancient Greek molecular roots into Latin word into and leftly and translated as black mammal from the Negroid or black android and corticoid and the further inhabit from the form of this ribbon as of Negroid form in the early recording and use of the term Negroid coming in the 1800s and 1859. In the modern modern US age is associated with the population that of the whole process the suited of the type of Negro physical characters. Who came up with the term Negroid? This man right here, and this is a white guy. His name is Sammy George Menton. Okay, he was born, and they didn't say what date he was, in 799 to 1851. Was a American featureman and the not listen and the natural scientist and rhetoric Monte near as the quit but becoming and departs into midlife, was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 1820 after earning a medical degree from Edinburgh University in Scotland. He began to practice at the Philadelphia. He began to practice at the Philadelphia in 1824 from 1890. I mean 18 from 1839 to 1843. He was a professor of arbitrary at the University of Pennsylvania. Okay, he the one came up with these certain racial features of the word Negroid. Listen what he says. And inspired by three mummies from ancient Egypt and Capricorn and Martin is the including that the Caucasian and Negroids is already District 3,000 years ago, since the Bible included that Noah's Ark has been washed up at the Mount Ararat only a thousands of years ago. Before this, and moderate claimed that Noah's sons could be and possibly an amount from any race on the amount to the moderate theories on the epitome Genesis. Race has been has been separated since from the start. So what he trying to say right here, racism be whites and blacks and Asians and all the rest, they broke it ever since the Great Flood came in. It goes back to the Noah's Ark when they got to get those people in there, and they try to say the God did that, but it was the devil's lot of work doing this. And this is another thing he said. He said that included that the ancient Egypt are not African, but are Caucasian, and his result was being pushed into three violate between the 1839 and 1849 to the convey a American as quite a little into dedicated instrumentation of the characteristic of the Aboriginal race of America and the cultivate and articulation and agitation. See this guy, man. This guy right here, he came up the term card. This is what he said about this is what they focus on brain side. I love when they say this. Montan claimed that his cardiacal American that the Caucasians has the biggest brain, an average 87 and cubic inches and 1.426 cc. American Indians in the middle, from middle from in the middle with a average of average of 82 in cubic inches, 1.344 cc. And this is what he said about Negroes. Listen to this. Negroes, listen to this. Y'all wouldn't believe what he just said this. And Negroes had the smallest brain width and the average of 78 cubic inches, 1.20 1.2 1 point. You see how bullshit it is? 1.278 and Monaghan believed that the skulls of each races are so different that a wise creator from the beginning have created each race and to position them in the separation of separate. And he said this. He said this right here. In each race are so different that a wise creator from the beginning has created every race and positioned them in separation homeland to the dwarf end. This is what he believes. This is what he believes, man. This guy right here, he the one came up this archetype, and this guy, whatever his name is, this guy right here, this guy's a racist right here. Not him, but his other brother. Now Charles Darwin. I mean, come on, man. I really don't believe all this stuff, this scientific racism stuff. I really don't. It's sad a lot of whites and blacks and everybody else buy into this. We're all one people. I mean, it's just intermixing at that time. For him to say that he's not even black. So how did he know unless he's connected with the black community? And that's what he's saying. Because remember, there was dark Europeans at that time. But for some reason, nobody, you never hear Europeans say it. I mean, look how it sounds when they say that. His name is Sammy George Menton, and posted as a Negro family, which he is grouping with the achievement in Huntington and Ocean Negro and Australian and Aberfour family is the in the first of half of the century 20 in the first and a half of 20 the first and a half of the 20th century the first and a half of 20th century as tradition and sub races of the Negro race are recent has become the true Negro and the forest Negro and Bendu Negro and the Nabanet and the Negroid as also as the African and Protogenoid as the consonant. For those who don't know about these people, they send Bushman people. But see, they break everybody in groups. Can Bush can send as awfully historically as referred to as the Holiday and Bushmen and the Negroes is also known as the agent archetype and the seed of Negroes is reconciled of the Potteru and the modern age, the melon age by the 1960. Some scholars read great as the constant considered as a separate race, as known as the Capsian race, from while the others continue to restate them as a Negroid sub-races. The term Concord was 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 quotement was requestment using as the interchangeably with the Negroid, with the main differences become that Commodore is the accusation that the Comte attacks. Man, this whole thing, I see why. And it started right here when they said the Homo sapiens with 5 different races. So they broke every black people in four groups. But this is what he said. In the two modern and distant, what he is called the condor race, as being the African Negro, as the presently divide in the indigenous Africans in the those two district groups based on the data of the region, and hallucinate in the classification from the modernity and superiorness. However, this has led to the disagreement between and, 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 between disagreement is a as improvement to the data of and divided grade as the record at the conflicted result. I mean, this guy knew what he was doing, and this is what they say. This so-called African theory. They always say this, and and Zevlot did not accept, as Cone did, that each race involved separately. He said that the I love this right here. He accepted the encouragely in the he accepted encouragely the dominant the Africa theory that all human beings be descendants from the small brand of people that migrate out of Africa, beginning one thousand one hundred and 25 to 1600 to 1600 years ago. You listen to this, right? You listen to this. I mean, it's funny. It's funny, man. I mean, from reading this, why they just can't tell the truth that Europeans lost their melanin by black community? I mean, why they just can't say that? For them, they don't want to say it. Because why every time I hear that two black people can produce a white baby, but I never heard two black people, I never heard two white people produce black baby. See, why you think they adopted black kids for some reason? Come on, just guess. Because of lack of melanin. This is why they hate the black community for some reason. Because it got something to do with this, with pigment in the Negroid population revolved from the very dark brown to the light brown, as a dark skin is relatively is in common in the human group that it had historically not been defined as a Negro, included in many population in both Africa and Asia. You notice that he said Asia, but it didn't say nothing about Europe. It is only when it's present with the present Negro in the physical trait, as much as broader feature for certain features in Negro in Conway, and denied of denied character and presentation and Afro Afro contact hair, and neonicotinoid that has been used in the Negro classification population with requests of dark skin. Yet of the whole lack of the suit of the Negro and physical traits are through usually not, and re, rescored as the Negroid, but insteadly as the either dark Caucasian, e.g., in Hamitic and in Ethiopian and Ivory or an Australian Moid, and depends on their only settlement and physical attitude by contest population were readily light skinned, just yet as generally possessed by birth type and Negroid and physical character as much as consentment or the still remain as the Negroid. You see what they said? This is what they said about the African Americans. Okay. The term Negro is used. Term Negro is still used only in the in the district. In discipline as much as the fortified anti-physical and ivory and role in logic into in modern context. Some scholars has been reconciled the the term Negro is being void in scientific writing because of the associated with racism and race science. This mirror is declared into age of the term Negro, which is falling out of the favor following the campaign of the American Civil Rights Movement. The term Negro because associated with the period of legalization and discriminate and was rejected by African American during the 1964 for black. When they talk about black Americans, there are black people already out here. For some reason, I'm gonna say to this: whoever create this, whoever this guy is, Sammy, George, Minton, whatever his name, he need his ass whooped because he trying to have the racial types, and whoever did this, I'm gonna tell you what exactly what they're doing. What they're doing is they're trying to say that black people was migrated by apes. That's what they're trying to say. White brothers and sisters are lying on this because let me get this straight. You mean to tell me a modern human having sex with a modern ape? Who gonna fucking believe that? Who gonna believe that all this stuff that's been taught? But you know what? I see why. But if you don't have these certain racial features like these, then you're not a Negro. Because every black person is not this color. There are black people who are light skinned, that karma, red, yellow, that's close to Asian and European, but for some odd reason they won't claim it. There are dark Asians over there in Asia, just like there are dark Europeans, but for some odd reason, see, they don't want to accept the fact that they came from these race of people. They don't want to accept it. You see what they said that rejected of the Negro of this Africa theory. Every race of migrated of first beginner left in Africa, trying to say that every black person was enslaved from Africa, but they will never tell you there were blacks already out here. They will never tell you that. They will never tell you this. And it started beginning from 200 years ago or 1,000 or 60,000 of years ago that they claim. See, I'm gonna say this: this scientific racism is a lot of bullshit. The Homo sapiens sapiens. They the first modern human race, but they're trying to say they're the Homo sapiens, and blacks just is no existence, or they just are basically come from these rapes of ape. See, that's what they're trying to say. If you really listen to them long enough, they're gonna tell you how they feel. This whole scientific racism is bullshit. Just like this term African American, just like the term white American and European American and Caucasian. I mean, just like they did an article about whatever his name, Alice Will. You did a good job. I did not know that when I put the video up, what they described what a race of Caucasians. See, they broke Asians. I mean, they broke white people in 8 groups, just like this. You have to have certain racial features, like this, the so-called Aryan. You see how they broke category group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They broke 8 people in groups. No, whoever these people are, they want to divide by people. I think every race is the first race in some way. Because I'm not going to sit there and say black is the first race. No, I wouldn't care less if black first race. You see how they divide Caucasians 1, 2, 3? They divide by these 3. And they divide by blacks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And you see how they divide the Asians 1, 2, 1, 2. You see what they did? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. They broke everybody in groups. But you have to wonder sometimes. This scientific racism is a lot of bullshit. Look at the word. Ask yourself what that word Negro means. Before I wrap this up, Negro is another word for Navio. You can look this up if you wanted to, because I looked it up. Negro is another word for Navio. That's what they meant. Here it is. You see that it's the same pronounce Negro and Navio, but they left the G out and put the C there with faced with the R in there. And it says right here, they look at black people as a dead race. No wonder why they say the word nigger. No one, and Malcolm even said this years ago, trying to figure this out. Subhuman, half caste, and a form of black magic. For some reason, I didn't believe this kind of stuff, but it says right here, in the Western culture, black has always been is symbolized for death. Black straw as the as funeral, black cat servant of the devil, the black death, and etc. through the Greek word navio, death. When it's translated to Latin, becoming Negro, and Italy in the infused in Europe. Black was the universe of decision from impure and by purely. So they admitted that black was the first race. They admit it, but they just admit it in some other ways. They just don't want to admit to it. And so slave owners believe that African slaves are purely and socially dead. You see what it says right there, people, and has been and it has no better word to describe them than Negro. You see how it says that. People need to do their research because it says it right here. People need to do their research. Socially dead. What do you mean? They totally gone. Purely and socially dead. This is what it says. But I'm explaining you my commentary. It's best not to say the word Negro because basically they want to kill blacks. That's what they're saying, especially in the Western culture. That's European, right? But why they won't do it to other race? But they don't. I'm telling you, there's a real reason why they don't want people intermixed with black because Europeans came out of black folks. It's gotta be a reason. You cannot tell me ain't no come from no goddamn apes. This is our planet just as much as theirs and everybody else. You cannot tell me. They brought 5 people in 6 groups. They always calling black people colored. But you ever wonder white is colored too? But they trying to say they can't produce black. If it's not, what else they're trying to say? For some odd reason, people live in a lie. The book of Negroes. They're trying to say black people can't read, but you can learn to read. Maybe because we created reading and writing. You ever wonder, or somebody didn't show us or taught us how? And we ain't come from no goddamn slave boats. Because if that's the case, the term slavery is another word for a Slavic language. Slavic people, we can't speak the same language as them. They always say, once they say that the ones who speak that language, they speak the same language, they understand each other. And they also said in the East that the only way you be a true samurai, you got to have a little black blood. And they wasn't lying when they say this. What is the West? That's you. Excuse me. What is the West? That's European, right? What is the East? That's Asia, right? What is the South? The South is South America. What is North? North America. But ask yourself about this. Ask yourself about this, man, because I can see why. So I guess the black must be the North, and whites are the South. Asia is East, and West is ain't no telling who's the West. West could be anything. West can be anything. West can be West Native Americans. For some odd reason, man, for some reason they divide everybody in groups. That's why you can't tell the damn difference who racist, who's not. But give me my commentary and tell me what you think of this video, alright? Alright. And it's your boy Domination. This is Back of the Basic. Trying to do this is how we do takes, baby. Until next time, alright? Alright. Peace and I'm out.